ಶ್ರೀಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ಹರಿ ಓಂ. ವಂದೇ ವಂದ್ಯಂ ವಿಧಿಶಿವಮಹೇಂದ್ರಾದಿವೃಂದಾರಕೇಂದ್ರೈಃ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಂ ವ್ಯಾಪ್ತಂ ಸ್ವಗುಣಗಣತೋ ದೇಶತಃ ಕಾಲತಶ್ಚ ಧೂತಾವದ್ಯಂ ಸುಖಚಿತಿಮಯೈರ್ಮಂಗಳೈರ್ಯುಕ್ತಭಂಗೈಃ ಸಾನ್ನಾಥ್ಯಂ नो ವಿದಧತ್ ಅಧಿಕಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಾರಾಯಣಾಖ್ಯಂ ಭೂಷಾರತ್ನಂ ಭುವನವಲಯಸ್ಯಾಖಿಲಶ್ಚರ್ಯರತ್ನಂ ಲೀಲಾರತ್ನಂ ಜಲಧಿದುಹಿತುರ್ದೇವತಾ ಮೌಳಿರತ್ನಂ ಚಿಂತಾರತ್ನಂ ಜಗತಿ ಭಜತಾಂ ಸತ್ಸರೋಜುದ್ಯರತ್ನಂ ಕೌಸಲ್ಯಾಯಾ ಲಸತು ಮಮ ಮಂಡಲೇ ಪುತ್ರರತ್ನಂ ಮಹಾವ್ಯಾಕರಣಾಂಬೋಧಿ ಪಂಥಮಾನಸಮಂದರಂ ಕವಯಂತಂ ರಾಮಕೀರ್ತ್ಯಾ ಹನುಮಂತಮುಪಾಸ್ಮಹೇ ಸ್ವಾಂತಸ್ಥಾನಂತಶಯ್ಯಾಯ ಪೂರ್ಣಜ್ಞಾನರಸಾರ್ಣಸೆ ಉತ್ತುಂಗವಾಕ್ತರಂಗಾಯ ಮಧ್ವದುಗ್ಧಾಬ್ಧಯೇ ನಮಃ. ಅಭ್ರಮಂ ಭಂಗರಹಿತಂ ಮಜುಳಂ ವಿಮಲಂ ಸದಾ ಆನಂದತೀರ್ಥಮತುಲಂ ಭಜೆ ತಾಪತ್ರಯಾಪಹಂ. ಆಪಾದಮೌಳಿಪರ್ಯಂತಂ ಗುರುಣಾಮಾಕೃತಿಂ ಸ್ಮರೇತ್ ತೇನ ವಿಘ್ನಾಃ ಪ್ರಣಶ್ಯಂತಿ ಸಿದ್ಧಂತಿ ಚ ಮನೋರಥಾಃ. ಶ್ರೀಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ ಹರಿ ಓಂ ಹರಿ ಓಂ ಹರಿ ಓಂ. Please excuse me, my throat is not in a very good shape for many reasons. So I will try to speak more into the mic. If there is a little bit of echo, please excuse me for that. I offer my Sashtang pranams to all these scholars here. And also, before I forget, I thank Sri Rangarajan and other organizers for giving me an opportunity to speak here. Of all the 16 gunas that Valmiki mentions in the first few shlokas, right? I am supposed to speak on Samartha. And I think, most of the people here anyway know what that guna means. And it's not like I will tell anything different or more than what you people already know. But so still, why am I speaking then? It is because, speaking about Ramachandra's guna is a pleasure in itself. It's an end in itself. It doesn't, therefore, I will just speak as much as I know. In fact, to just copy Sri Jaitirtha's words, right? He says, Yanmadrushopi yatate tadativa hasyam 𝗕𝗵𝗵𝗶 tat. Basically, if somebody like me speaking, it is a laughable thing. Okay, but still I will do it because I am like bound by my own devotion to Rama. So we will use the same thing here and go on to talking about what Samarthya guna means. The word Samartha means competent or capable. So now the eventual meaning, it concludes in basically saying that somebody who is skilled at or who is an adept at. Basically, if that person is capable of producing a certain effect, then you say that person is Samartha. Okay, so remember that all of us have some or the other Samarthya in us. All of us have some or the other Vidvat in us. So everybody has some or the other good Charitra. So all these 16 qualities, right, are generally found somewhere or the other. So then what is Valmiki truly asking about? Valmiki's true question is about the person in which these things are found in exceeding amounts, basically in highest order. Otherwise, there is no meaning to his question, because his question is answered by, everybody has some or the other Samarthya, everybody has some or the other Vidvat, and so on. Priyadarshana, everybody, somebody is good looking to their own mother at least. Right? So therefore, the question is about the person in which all those gunas are there, all the virtues are there, and in exceeding amounts. So Atishaya is what he is looking for. Now the problem is that if we start talking about Atishaya, right, Atishaya Samarthya, and in fact given the paucity of time, I will cover for it for like some 2-3 instances, not more there. But I just want to still take 5 minutes to cover a different point here. See, the moment we talk about Atishayokti, right? I mean, basically some exceeding capabilities that Lord shows. It is but natural for people to think if it's an exaggeration. We are not just talking about the duration of, how long Rama ruled. That question can come against everything and anything which is beyond the human capabilities. Now the question is, will you believe that, for example, Rama was able to do a certain feat, which was, for example, take his, stringing Janaka's, the Shiva's Dhanush, which was given to Janaka, and how he was able to break that thing. Now, will you take that thing as an exaggeration simply because you cannot do it yourself, or will you say that no, I mean, that may be possible for somebody like Rama, or somebody who is clearly not a regular human. So this dichotomy or this dilemma is something that everybody will go through. I mean, do I accept how much of superhuman stuff will I accept if it is written in my scripture? Do I take it as an artifact of faith, or it is something to be accepted as truth? Now, the problem in accepting it as a faith, article of faith, is that it extends to all other religions and schools of thought. They all have their texts where extra superhumans have been mentioned. So on what basis should our children, or us for that matter, should we believe that whatever is written in Ramayana or anywhere else, why is that a fact? That is a question which everybody will come up with, or if not them, their kids will come to that thing. Yeah, and the way to answer that, I mean, I don't know whether it has been answered here or not, is to understand what, I'll be very brief here. I am trying to compress a lot of arguments on this one. So it is like this. Basically, our fundamental philosophy all goes with what we call as 𝗙𝗵𝗶 𝗔𝗱𝗀𝗀. We hold that Veda is unauthored. It is not written by anybody, not even God. In fact, God is known to us because Veda says so. And the same Veda has the the same Veda tells us that Itihasa and Purana are the fifth Veda. Itihasa Puranam Vedanam Panchama Veda. Right? So, because of that, first Veda is the Pramana. Of course, we can question whether it is the 𝗕𝗵𝗶 itself is a fact of artifact of faith, or is it a truth by itself or not. That's a longer debate. Very briefly, there also again, the way you establish history, the way you ascertain history of any non-physical artifact, the same methods you apply here, and you're able to say that, Vedic 𝗕𝗵𝗶 is a historic fact. There is absolutely no, skirting around that issue. You cannot wish it away simply because you could not comprehend the possibility of something that exists without an author. So given the Vedic unauthoredness, it becomes true. Because any text has a flaw that is traceable to its author. If a text does not have a flaw, it is true. It does not have an author, it is flawless. And therefore Veda is flawless. So that includes Upanishads like 𝗕𝗵𝗸𝗁 Upanishad and so on and so forth. And anything that the Veda tells is also, any Veda refers to, for example, Itihasa Purana is also Pramana. It is a source of truth because it is told so by the Veda. So Ramayana comes as part of that. Therefore, whatever is told in the Ramayana should be accepted as fact. It may look like, they are just making Rama as another superhero. But still, this is a fact and not your Superman comics or something like that. Just because Ramayana is testified by the Veda. That said, so again, there are other questions that may come. For example, why should I treat this particular, let's take that, whatever is there in the Veda or whatever is there in the Ramayana, do we need to take it on face value? I mean, just a couple of days back, I was seeing this 𝗙𝗵𝗶 thing. He was trying to basically tell that, look, it is all metaphorical, right? I mean, Hanuman lifted Parvata. It doesn't mean really, it is only figurative. Again, the answer to that is against the norm of scriptural interpretation. We interpret every word on its main meaning, using its convention meaning. Only if there is a problem, we shift from that to a figurative or an alliterative meaning. Now, because of that, we should take the main meaning. So there are certain established procedures in which you ascertain the meaning of a particular textual, a scriptural sentence. And from there, we basically derive our tenets. So from there, we can, there are more questions that may come. In interest of time, I will get over that and come to the point where, Rama's samarthya is demonstrated in Ramayana. So there will be little bit of overlap with other qualities like Bala, Virya and all that. But yeah, given that, any task for a successful completion, you need those qualities. We can assume that, some amount of overlap will always be there. So samarthya means again, person who is able to perform task to a particular completion, no matter what, right? And one such example is, where Rama has been asked to prove his samarthya, is when Sugriva checks on him if he is capable of killing Vali. So Sugriva puts him through certain tests because he is not, he likes Rama, but that doesn't mean that Rama is capable, right? So he puts him to certain tests. He says that, 𝗕𝗵𝗵 was basically is the Asura who was killed by Rama, by Vali, basically, and what can you do about him? So his body is lying over here. So Rama just, he just pushes the whole body with his just thumb, with the toenail, basically, and then that's it. And that thing flies away, and it goes to such a level, right? It goes to, okay, see, this is what it says. It goes across many miles, the body, that Rakshasa's body flies across many miles. It hits other Rakshasas residing in the Rasatala, okay? And who were basically, they were just very pompous, arrogant guys who had their boons from Shiva himself. So Rama not only satisfied Sugriva's test, he also accomplished one more purpose. So you see, in fact, you can see this thing across all his activities. So he will be actually trying to, it will have multi-layered effect in whatever act he does, okay? Similarly, next test that he says is that, can you basically shake at least one of these leaves of this Sala tree, right? Sala is basically, it's like 40 meters tall, approximately 2 meters in diameter. It's not a small amount, right? It's 2 meters, it's quite huge. The leaves are also 10 to 25 centimeters long and 5 to 15 centimeters broad. As of found today, right? They call it Shoria robusta, right? That's the name. So even those trees. So for most of us, our first question will be, why should Sugriva think of that as a test at all? It was because Vali could not shake them. So that if Rama is able to do that, then he is able to, then there is some hope that he will be able to kill Vali. So our hero, what he does is amazing. He just takes one arrow and he hits through all of them. So the question is, see again, for us it is a very simple thing, right? It will look like he has just hit those 7 Sala trees. But Madhvacharya tells us very important thing. He says, okay, so those are again those 7 demons who are sitting over there, who have been told by Brahma that if you want to become Brahma, you need to meditate here and then you keep doing upasana to become Brahma yourself. So those guys are sitting over there. So there is a dual purpose that is achieved. One, he is able to convince Sugriva about his own valor. At the same time, he kills again all those 7 asuras, and again that arrow goes past them, and it goes to some Kumudini asuras who are sitting across all these 7 Patala lokas and kills all of them also. So that is Rama's samarthya. It is absolutely unparalleled. The other aspect of samarthya, right, capability is capability to get work done through others. If any of you have run teams, right, if you have managed teams or run companies, you will know how difficult it is. And purely from that angle, Rama taking 60,000 monkeys, or some people say it is like 21,000 crore monkeys, okay, all the way from their Kishkinda to Lanka, making them wage a war, making them successful is no mean feat by any scale. Absolutely, it is super amazing. It is just not doable. I'm sure you also will know that, right? The another aspect of samarthya is the restraint, the capability to restrain when you can actually take action. See, people tolerate because of 2 reasons, typically, right? One, you are feeling weak, you are not capable of accosting the other person, you will get suppressed. So that is when you exhibit tolerance. The other tolerance is when you are super capable, and that's what Rama does. He shows this thing in multiple places. Okay, Ravana is there, for example. Ravana is there. He has one bout of fight just before the last day, basically. At that time, Ravana is extremely tired and he is depressed, he is distressed. So Rama gives him his space then. Imagine the kind of confidence he must have in his own capability to be able to say that, okay, you know what, 𝗕𝗵𝗵 𝗕𝗵𝗵 𝗔𝗱𝗃 𝗵𝗔𝗀𝗃 गृहं प्रयाहि. You go to your house. Samasta bhogan anubhuya shigram. Enjoy all pleasures that you can. Okay? Pratushya bandhun punarehim martum. Then you enjoy your time with your relatives. But come tomorrow morning again to die. This is what he tells Ravana. What kind of confidence is that? Same thing, he does Vibhishana's coronation before the war even begins. Imagine that, right? You are basically telling that, I deem that your government is pointless. Therefore, I will basically create an alternate government. That is a statement he is essentially making there, Rama. Okay? That is, see, there is no direct fighting that is happening to show his prowess or samarthya there. This kind of acts basically show the prowess there. Then finally, I will tell this one. Before Ravana dies, right? Basically he will unleash what is called as his Moola Bala. Okay? So, this is told very concisely or, indirectly in the Valmiki Ramayana. Okay, they basically talk about some number of 200 to a lakh asuras suddenly coming in over there. But the actual count is 𝗕𝗵𝗵 𝗔𝗀𝗃. It basically comes down to 36 into 10 power 67. That many asuras come there. All these Vanaras are doing their regular fighting. Then Ravana unleashes his Moola Bala because that is his last resort. This is even after Indrajit has been killed. Okay? Then he unleashes all these guys. So, where were they so far? They are in a small cave. They are in a very small space because of a boon from 𝗕𝗵𝗵 Brahma. See, imagine this thing, right? We have never thought of this material compression. We always think that, we basically try to apply our own so-called rationale to determine whether something is sensible or not sensible. But there are these kind of boons that make even the super sensory possible also. We will not even have that thing. Unless you give scope for the text to teach you that kind of stuff, you will miss out and then you will overpower that with your narrow judgment. So anyway, Ravana's Moola Bala was there in such a small space. Now they all expand and then they attack the entire Vanara army. Okay, how does it look like to them? 𝗙𝗵𝗵 𝗕𝗵𝗵 𝗔𝗀𝗃 𝗔𝗀𝘀 𝗕𝗵𝗵𝗁. It was basically they were surrounded by it was almost like the deluge water, the 𝗕𝗏𝗪. It was like the waters of the deluge coming from all ends. Imagine like when blocks of viruses coming against you. But is that these people are much more powerful than that. When that happens, okay, these guys don't know what to do. Bhayat samudvigna vishanna chetasah 𝗕𝗵𝗵 nitaram pradudruho. They were just running helter-skelter. They don't know what to do. At that time, Rama shows that everything was alone dependent on him. He doesn't need anybody else. You know what he does? He takes infinite forms then and kills all of those asuras in an instant. That's it. In one instant they are done. So before that happens and after, right? The scene is just unimaginable. These guys, first of all, do not know what to do with that level of attack. And secondly, they don't know how Rama attacked them and killed them. So that is the extent of samarthya that we are seeing in Rama. There are more to things there. This particular episode, right? I would recommend that people should study Mahabharata Atmanirnaya of Madhvacharya there, at least on this particular, the war especially. It's thoroughly enjoyable. You will enjoy Rama's guna to a great degree there. Okay? And so in fact, this particular episode is even referred by Nilakantha in his mantra Ramayana. He basically says that, Rupam Pratirupo Babhuva Tarasya Rupam Pratijakshana Indro Mayavi. Indra means Rama according to him. Mayavihi Pururupa Iyate Yukta hi asya haraya shatadasha. And of course, there are more numbers that are told over there. So he basically says that even the Vedic mantras are talking about this incident there. So Rama's samarthya or the capability is unusually presented in this particular screen there. So my conclusion is, so all these things show extraordinary. They are not simply, human. They are not even human plus plus or something like that. They are, I mean, if you look at the fact that there were other devatas involved, it is not even devata plus plus. It is a totally different class altogether, right? And there is no exaggeration. There is no 𝗙𝗵𝗶 simply because of whatever rules of interpretation we referred to briefly at the beginning of this speech, right? And we should stop looking at Rama as just some exalted king with noble qualities and things like that. He is Parabrahman. We should keep that in our mind. We should worship him like that, and that only will fetch us the necessary devotion and the subsequent benefits or whatever it is. Whatever Krishna tells of himself, right? Janma karma cha me divyam, yo vetti tattvataha. It applies to Rama and everybody else also. Okay. In fact, he even cautions against it. Okay. Avajanante mammudha manushim tanumashritam. He says that, these idiots, they think of me as a guy in a bodily, in a human body. Only then, no, you will say that, he was 7,000 years or whatever this thing, right? He was born only 7,000 years back because he cannot be ruling for 11,000. Because we think, essentially, there is an underlying assumption implicitly made that Rama is another human. That is the first mistake to make, right? Now, Rama is not any human or mortal. He is Parabrahma himself. Not even his form is also not mortal. Okay, his form is of bliss. There are multiple such texts which give this explanation. Ram Tapani Upanishad, for example, 𝗕𝗵𝗶𝗹 𝗔𝗀𝘀 𝗙𝗵𝗇 तथा ध्यानेन वैराग्यम ऐश्वर्यम स्वस्य पूजनात् तथा रात्यस्य रामाख्या भुवि स्यात् तततत्त्वतः रमन्ते योगिनो अनन्ते नित्यानन्दे चिदात्मनि इति रामपदेन असौ परब्रह्मा विधीयते. So it basically tells that he lays down the dharma marga just by his own conduct, the jnana marga by his virtuous names. He gives vairagya when he is meditated upon. He gives aishwarya when he is worshipped. This Rama Nama, which is widely known, truly means he is the object of the yogins' meditation, who are interested in that eternal blissful Chidananda consciousness called Rama. So the Rama word truly means Parabrahma. And we should not do these things for the sake of any benefit. We should do it simply because it is like our duty. In fact, Madhvacharya says a very nice thing there. He says that, right, see, imani karmani raghuttamsya harer vichitranyapit na adbhutani. He says that, oh, what is the big deal in this Rama's this thing? He will express both surprise and also the nonchalance at the same time. He'll say, oh, this is God only, no? So that is what is so surprising in him doing it. Duranta 𝗕𝗵𝗶𝗹 𝗖𝗵𝗶 𝗙𝗵𝗀 varnyate. I am telling this because it is my duty to tell this thing. 1 minute. Okay? And then with that, I will try to end my lecture with the last thing that Madhvacharya himself says. Itirita Ramakatha Paramaya Samasta Shastranu sriramar 𝗕𝗵𝗶. Whoever studies this thing, whatever, please recall whatever Pratosha was telling. Ya Shunuya Athapiva. Whoever listens to that. 𝗕𝗵𝗶 charanam harer vrajayat. He will definitely go to Hari's charana. And with that, I will end my speech. Thank you for the opportunity. Madhvesha Krishnarpanastu.